What's up everybody? Welcome back to the videos. I am super happy that you all are here. Today we're installing my new to me, used, refurbished, whatever you want to call it, Z1 Motorsports power steering rack for the 350Z. Now, disclaimer, I have never done anything like this before, anything this big before. I've watched a few videos and you may be asking yourself, hey Chase, do you know what you're doing? And my response to that is absolutely not. But I have watched a few videos and with that means I am a certified mechanic on YouTube, because YouTube mechanics, all you gotta do, watch a few videos, boom, you got the thing done. So we're gonna jack the car up and we're gonna get this new rack into my 350Z. We're gonna get the old leaky one out and we're gonna send it back off to Z1 Motorsports so I can get some money back. So fingers crossed, let's hop right into it and get this going. All right guys, so as I'm sure you know, in my tiny garage, I do not have a press to press these bushings out. So what I thought I would do and give a shot and try out is the C-clamp. Now what I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna try to find a socket that's just the right size for one side of the bushing, and then find a socket that's bigger than the bushing on the other side and try to use the C-clamp to press it through. That way we can get the new energy suspension bushings onto the car, or onto the power steering rack. So let's get into it. Change of plans. I don't have a socket big enough to go around the bushing, so we're just gonna use this bushing right here from the energy kit and put it in the bracket and make it work. So, all right, so I don't know if you can see that super well, but that is the passenger side of my power steering rack, and it is currently dripping fluid pretty bad. It's only been up on the jack stands for a little while, and we've got a decent sized puddle going right there. Oh wait, no, that's a leaf. Right there. So we are gonna drain. All right, so we are gonna drain all the fluid. Okay, I don't know if you can see that very well, but that nut right there, I'll put an arrow, and that cotter pin have to come out. So I'm gonna bend that cotter pin back, hammer that lower ball joint, control arm, I forget what it's called. Anyways, yeah, and I'm gonna hammer that out. Cannot even begin to express to you how much of a love-hate relationship I have with working on cars. One minute I am absolutely in love with it, and the next minute I want to literally light my car on fire because of one like 19mm bolt. So what I'm talking about is I finally got I forget what this arm is called. I'm gonna call it the lower control arm. It's not the lower control arm. It's something. I'll figure it out and put it in the title. I'm gonna feel stupid because I know what it's called, but I can't think of it. But I finally got them out after like an hour and a half of just getting 2 of those bolts out. We can finally get underneath the car and start taking off the bottom bracket, and then we can get into the power steering rack, and it should go pretty easily. So I have marked, I'm gonna show you everything. So I'm rambling, let's hop right into it. So for you guys at home doing this, you've got some big bolts that are right here. You can't see them, but you've basically got 17s and 13s. So you've got like 4 13mm and 2 17mm that you have to take off. So keep that in mind, and we're gonna get going. Cue that time lapse.
Yo.
guys, so I got a little ahead of myself and I already kind of started putting some of the power steering rack hardware into its baggie. I have basically one bolt left, and then we have to start working on the high and low pressure lines. So I'm going to show you what lines I'm talking about and what bolts I took out. All right, so that bolt hole right there, that is a 14 millimeter bolt, and it has a bracket, and then you have to take this bracket out, which is a 10 mil, and you basically just slide that metal bracket off, and there's the bushing. So once the rack comes out, we'll get that bushing off. And then over here, we've got two 17 millimeters, one right here and one way up there. And they are really, really tight and hard to get out. You can't get the impact up there, so you do it by hand. And then here are the high and low pressure lines. Here, this is the high pressure line right here, goes into the power steering rack. And then also here's the low pressure line that goes into it as well. We're gonna take those out, drain the system completely, and then basically get the new rack in here as quickly as possible. There is a wiring loom that we have to take care of, so there's that right there, and that all comes with it. And then once we get that all undone and taken care of, we have to disassemble this yoke. I don't know why I said that so weird. And basically that's just pretty easy. We'll just mark it up where the line is and down here where the line is and get it all set. My gosh, guys, we got the power steering rack out. The old one is out. I'm so excited. I cannot believe that I did it. I am so proud of myself. Now we just have to get the new one in with no issues, right? So should be pretty easy now that I have done all the steps, which I'm going to talk to you guys about. But yeah, I'm so proud of myself. Now we just have to take the stuff that we need off the old one, put it onto the new one, and we're throwing it back in. I think we'll be done by 5 o'clock, and maybe I can kind of, we can go test it together. And yeah, so I'm gonna do a time lapse of everything that I'm gonna take off the old one and put into the new one. I'm just gonna show you real fast. So on the new one, you've got these plugs right here that are plugging up the high and low pressure lines. So yeah, we're gonna take this this low pressure grommet, put it over here, and same thing with the high pressure one. Something that I do want to show you guys is over here is a threaded hole. Now, it doesn't seem important, but it will leak like no other if you don't do anything with that. And that is that bolt right there. It's for a bracket for this piece. And so we're gonna move that over. I'm also gonna tighten everything down, give it a good bolt check, just to make sure that all of this is tightened and torqued to spec. Change over the arms, and we're gonna throw this bad boy back into the car and hopefully be done here pretty soon. So, time lapse commence now. So basically we're gonna throw the car back together again, and so kind of we just look for the bolts. Here we go. Here are the bolts that we need. We're gonna take them underneath the car, get the job done. Yeah, we're gonna try to make it one big time lapse, see what happens. rack is in. It is secured. It is not gonna go anywhere at all. Now we just have to reattach the lines in there, the high pressure and low pressure. And then we're gonna attach the outer tie rod ends, and then I think we're good, which is crazy to think about, but I think we're good after that. So yeah, we're gonna get to do that and then we're gonna be done. All right guys, so I've got some pretty bad news, which I don't like to share, but I want the failures on this channel to be just as transparent as the wins. And unfortunately, we have a big lose, which sucks. I've got new parts coming though, and they'll be here in 2 days, hopefully. So Monday, today is Friday, I think. I'm not sure. But I wanted to let you guys know the outer tie rods of the vehicle are just broken beyond repair. I stripped the bolts when I was taking them off and trying to get them out of the car. So that really sucks. It's my fault. Should have been more careful, but more are coming. But there is good news. There's the diamond in the rough in this bad news. Basically, I can still get the power steering pump to work. I just have to bleed the system and it's all gonna be fine. And then when the new tie rods come in, I can throw them on, boom, done, and we'll be good to go and we can drive Old Faithful again. So this really sucks because I don't have another car, and so I'm gonna kind of be stranded until Monday, which is fine because I'm working from home. But this makes me definitely pursue buying a daily more seriously, and so I'm gonna be buying a daily soon because of things like this, which really suck because I am a beginner. I don't know really what I'm doing. I'm learning as I go, and so mistakes like this are gonna happen. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna not drive the car today, but we are gonna make sure that the car works and that it feels fine. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's hop into it right now. Ooh, guys, you see that? We fixed it. The power steering rack is completely fixed. My girlfriend's in there right now bleeding the system, which is awesome, but it works. It works beautifully. I'm super bummed that the outer tie rods are stripped and not working right, but the fact that this car works the way it should makes me so happy, and in 2 days we'll have the right parts and we'll be good to go. Guys, I am so hyped on this. We're gonna throw it all back together again, so I'm gonna...
The next day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It is day 2 of the power steering rack install, and basically we're gonna do a bolt check, make sure everything is good, nothing is leaking. I don't know where I left off yesterday. I know we left off bleeding the system and it successfully bled and did a good job, but I want to make sure that nothing is actually leaking and that we're good to go. There's still some like leftover residue and fluid on the car, and so I want to take care of that. Also, like I told you guys yesterday, I messed up a little bit in 2 different places. I ordered some new outer tie rods because I stripped the bolts or the lugs on them. And then also, I got the splines wrong on the power steering rack. So when my steering wheel is straight, I'll show you guys this in the video, when the steering wheel is straight, my wheels are crooked. And so that means I got some teeth misaligned. And so now I'm gonna go back in, make sure the job's right, and make it good. So we're gonna hop into the video. We're also gonna pack up the old power steering rack and try to send it off to Z1 Motorsports today. That way we can get it out of our hair. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do, and we will see you guys soon. I wanna show you guys, see, the wheels are straight, look good. You're like, oh yeah, I did a good job, woohoo. And then, oh, the steering wheel's all crooked and weird. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with, that's what we're trying to fix. And so that's what today's goal is, to get the steering wheel straight with the wheels straight. So shouldn't be that hard. So to explain to you guys what we're doing is, maybe it's gonna be a little difficult for you guys to see. Okay, so right here is the power steering rack. This is the pinion, the black part. We have to get the pinion matched up with that notch right there. You see that blue? I'll put an arrow, bing, and we have to get that power steering notch basically matched up with the pinion. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that. So what we have to do is basically make the steering wheel straight because we want our steering wheel to drive straight. We want it straight. And basically now we're gonna adjust the pinion on the rack to make it the wheel straight. So that way everything's matched up and good to go. So I'm gonna put you guys down, get some tools and time lapse you guys, and then hopefully we'll be done in very shortly because I don't wanna get on my back like I did all day yesterday in work. My back is so sore. I feel like I'm 100 years old today, but we're gonna get it done. So woohoo, look at that. Look at that. And look at that. Everything that's straight is supposed to be straight, and I could not be more excited. I am so pumped about this. I cannot believe that this project is done. There's one more final piece and it shipped today. And like I said, it's the outer toe arms. My fault. Broke them. My bad. But this, oh, guys, I'm so excited. I wish I could go test drive this right now, but we're just gonna have to make vroom vroom noises in the garage until then, because currently a cotter pin is holding this tie rod in and a bolt that's like barely seated is holding that tie rod end on. So yeah, I'm gonna check in a little bit. I've got some things to say about this video. I wanna kind of wrap it up in a little bit because I am not the best about documenting the steps that I did. So I wanna go over them with you guys right now. All right, guys, so these are the 7 steps that I think are gonna be the best way to get your rack and pinion out of your 350Z. So you should already have it up in the air on jack stands, tires off. And this is gonna be the most efficient way to do things, the best way, in my opinion. That way you're not getting up and down off the ground. You're gonna be working on your back. If you have a lift, great. I don't. I was on my back for 12 hours yesterday. So here's what it is. Step 1, take off the outer tie rod ends. And of course, save all the hardware, put it in baggies, label it. Take off the outer tie rod ends. That way you don't have to get out of the car to do that once the rack is off. 2, take off that plastic cover underneath the car. 3, take off that metal brace. Step 4, I would say disconnect the rack from the steering shaft. So take that pinion, and what I did is I loosened it on the rack and then also on the steering shaft, and I just lifted it up onto the steering shaft. That way it was free. That's a good little trick for you guys. Let's see. 5, unplug the rack. There is a wiring loom that it looks like it's plugged into a solenoid. I'm not entirely sure what exactly it is, but go ahead, unplug that. And then step 6, take out all the bolts from the rack. And of course, there's gonna be a little bracket attached to the passenger side of the rack that has some high pressure lines that stay up in the car. And so remove that. And then step 7, remove the rack and then do everything back in order and you should be good to go. So those are my tips for removing your rack and pinion. So I know I talked a lot in this video series about this, and I am trying to get better about giving you guys the best information for installs like this. I plan to do long tube headers and all that stuff, and so I really want to be able to walk you guys through that process of things that people say are really hard to do. I was looking underneath the car and it doesn't look like long tube headers is going to be that hard if you remove the proper things. And so basically what I'm saying is I hope that you guys got the information that you needed from this. I hope this was actually helpful to people who needed it. I hope it was also entertaining and fun to watch. I am really proud of myself for doing this. Just to be transparent with you guys, this rack from Z1 Motorsports, it's the Value Advantage. It's a rebuilt rack at Z1. It only cost me about $435, I think, and a brand new one OEM from Nissan is $1,800. And then if you take it to the shop, you're gonna be looking at labor and all that stuff. So let's just say $3,000 to, now let's say $2,500 for this job, and I only paid, let's say $500 for it. Yeah, you know, I spent a lot of time working and I learned a lot, but that's the joy of working on cars for me, is learning. And so I am so excited about this process. I'm so excited for the next step. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna end it here. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And I am thinking about all of you, and I'm so thankful for all of you. And thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for all the support. It really is absolutely incredible. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys are doing well during quarantine. Remember, if you can, get out and drive, clear your mind, and I promise things will be okay. Guys, I'm gonna leave you with this. Do something good for yourself, do something good for someone else, and always have a good day. Peace out, everybody. Have an awesome day. Don't forget, like, comment, and definitely subscribe. It's all down below. It means the world. Peace out.